Heyo, Tish here, and this is a review of Phat Company's 1/7 scale Kasumigaoka Utaha from Saekano. I purchased this figure in 2025 during Goodsmile US's Black Friday sale for $16.90 USD plus $9.99 shipping before taxes. Since this price is already significantly lower than aftermarket prices, I won't factor how much I paid for this figure as a metric for its quality, given it's already a great deal at this price point. I was introduced to Saekano through a friend. However, it wasn't with the anime adaptation as you might think. It wasn't even through the main series. For me, it started with Koisuru Metrono, a spin-off manga of the light novel series starring Aki Tomoya and Kasumigaoka Utaha on an alternate route as assistant and author. It was one of the earliest manga series I read, serving as a departure from the shonen manga I read before, and Utaha quickly became my favorite character, even stepping into the anime adaptation. Despite the source material having never received an official translation, Saekano's still one of my favorite rom-coms, even with just the anime adaptation and reading Koisuru Metronome. As I mentioned in my channel update, this is one of Utaha's newer figures. But however good the illustration this figure is based off of is, the volume 10 light novel cover, its execution can be held back by its manufacturer. Phat Company, aka Phatism, has a mixed reputation because while it has been licensed many great series, their quality control ranges from subpar to downright awful. Their product photos look great, but the production units tell a different story. Even before opening the box, I already noticed how rough the sculpt was for the hair on her front bangs. Any separately molded parts added back in are quite noticeable. The line work on her dress is really inconsistent. The scrunchy bracelet is unpainted and has noticeable seam lines. Her feet are not flush with the base, resulting in a small gap. Surface scratches can be found throughout the figure and base. And don't get me started about the hat. The hat is probably this figure's biggest issue. In product photos, the hat's brim is nicely held by Utaha's fingers. However, some production units were reported to have great difficulty with both hands holding onto the hat's brim, and mine was no exception. Getting the hat to fit on one side is fine, but the other side ends up with an unconvincing gap between her fingers, and the hat itself isn't very stable to begin with. With how finicky it is to position the hat, paint transfers and scratches are difficult to avoid. One might consider displaying the figure without the hat so her hands appear to be raised instead of holding something, but that only reveals the lackluster quality of the hair sculpt. I've seen users report the cause of the hat not fitting is due to the figure's neck peg being too long, but my copy might be even worse. The metal rod reinforcing the neck peg protrudes from the plastic, and seeing how the gap between her hand and the hat is much larger than the protrusion, and how her bangs already appear to be as close to her shoulders as intended, I haven't attempted to file down the neck peg in hopes that'll solve it. While I've been quite critical of this figure's flaws, that isn't to say there aren't any pros. For one, this figure is large. It towers over my other 1/7 scales in both height and width. From a distance, the figure's pose and size carry its mediocre quality, and perhaps I'm biased, but I still like how it looks. Where there is shading like in her hair, purple accents, and skin, it does look good. To sum up, while I was able to buy this figure for a prize figure price, the same cannot be said for those who purchased this on release. It's disappointing how many issues there are with this figure because the illustration it's based on is so great. I feel quality control definitely impacted this figure's aftermarket price since it's been quite hard. Fortunately, that means this figure can be purchased today at a price fitting its quality. If you're an Utaha fan, I still think this figure is worth considering if you know what you're getting into. And with that, this is Tish, signing off.